All right. Oops. So let's get right into this. This video is going to be about ways to improve your writing in 2024. Obviously, we're coming up to the end of 2023, and that's probably a lot on everybody's minds, especially, again, a lot of beginner writers or people just starting out, how to be the most productive in 2024. Now, there's a lot of things that are very obvious that you can do. So, what I'm going to present you is with six things, six right now that I have written out, but I may come up with one or two on the spot. But six things that I genuinely believe if you do these and you commit to them, you're going to have at least a more productive year to be a better writer. And you're just going to naturally improve your skills because you are going to be consistent and focused on writing. I'm going to implement these as well and do the best of my ability to be as consistent as possible. And hopefully, all of us that try to participate in this for 2024 can find some success, whether it's finishing a script that you are very, very proud of, or finishing a script, getting it out there, and getting some momentum. This, of course, applies to if you just want to write a short film, a feature film, even if you want to go more into the other aspects of writing, like writing a novel. But as we get into it, it'll be a little bit more precise, I guess you could say, on what I'm asking or suggesting that everybody does to improve their writing in 2024. And these are things that you don't necessarily need to rely on other people for. They are very much like self-imposed disciplinaries. So the first one is, and again, I'm going to preface this by saying these aren't all directly related to writing per se, but doing them can help a lot with your writing. From my own experience, from other friends that are writers, and so just again, I always recommend open mind, think outside the box. Okay, so the first thing is get a consistent sleep schedule. Okay, when I have a really bad sporadic sleep schedule, like I'm an insomniac, legitimately an insomniac. I record a lot of these after midnight until 3 or 4 in the morning. But even then, the times that I have made a point to be disciplined and get a consistent sleep schedule so that I can have a little bit more energy and a little bit more reliability during the day, my writing has improved. And not only that, but in terms of creativity and being able to have the mental capacity to put something out on the page and every time you write, you need to have a well-rested mind. You need to be well-rested in general. So figure out a way. Sit down with yourself, really, really hammer out like your sleep schedule. If you already have a consistent sleep schedule, then you've already knocked this one out. So that's great. But get a consistent sleep schedule and getting quality sleep. 8 hours of bad sleep will never beat 6 hours of great sleep. But definitely try to get some good sleep in. I would say the bare minimum is 6 hours. If you can get 8 or 9, that's great. But quality sleep and consistent, okay? The second thing is going to be reduce or cut out distractions. That includes social media, which I know is very hard. And I know I'm not saying completely wipe out your social media. I enjoy social media. My Instagram account, obviously, I use that to keep up with friends, keep up with art and different things that I have interest in. And I genuinely believe I have a healthy relationship with it. I just enjoy posting funny stuff and talking to my friends on there. Uh, but obviously, when I want to write, I try to make sure to reduce my time. All of us spend a lot of time on social media, even myself. And even if you use it in a positive way, you still want to reduce that time. Same thing with my TikTok. I have a personal TikTok that I deactivated so that I can focus more on the Lowriders TikTok. And of course, I have the Lowriders Instagram account, which I'm going to start trying to do stuff more with that. And basically what I'm doing is I'm logging out of my personal account on Instagram. So I have to log in every time that I want to use it, which for me discourages me from using it more. I'm not going to deactivate it because a lot of my friends still communicate with me through there, and it's just easy to keep that form of communication with them on that. So definitely reduce or cut out distractions like that. This also includes like streaming. If you binge a lot of Netflix, Hulu, or whatever, maybe, cancel your subscription for a few months or for a year, and just the usual time that you would spend with binging a show, dedicate that hour, 2 hours to writing. Uh, Start making writing a habit of an outlet to relax and reduce stress. Try not to make it into a stress-inducing thing anymore. And I think replacing a lot of things like binge watching streaming platforms or spending a lot of time on social media, replacing it with writing can help you do that. So reduce and cut out distractions so you can use that time normally for writing. The other thing is eat and drink healthier, work out. This is going to help you line up with not only a consistency in your day-to-day schedule, but you'd be surprised how an unhealthy diet can affect your ability to want to be as creative as you want. Obviously, there's been a lot of writers in the history of time that have been successful that have horrible diets, but remember, they make up like that percentage of all the writers. I'm not saying you have to go and be like jacked or anything like that, but if you're drinking a lot, if you're doing a lot of drugs, just cut it down a bit, like cut it in half at least. Like the whole idea here is to cut out things that could be used to replace with more writing, or gear it more towards productivity in your writing. Obviously, eating healthier, drinking healthier, even a little bit of workout, that's going to contribute a lot to just your energy levels. It boosts, it releases endorphins. It just helps you become more productive in general. At the very least, just start being a little bit healthier. Now, this is where we get into more practical applications to writing. For number 4, you want to set a schedule, and I am not going to budge. Like, sometimes I say, oh, just get 15 minutes in, 30. 1 hour. It has to be a minimum 1 hour, and set a schedule, a weekly schedule or a daily schedule. It can't be a monthly schedule. Either a daily schedule of 1 hour that you dedicate to writing, or a weekly schedule. Pick one day out of the week, one consistent day. So if it's Tuesday, it's every Tuesday for 1 hour you are going to write. You're going to work on your writing and improving your skills. 1 hour minimum. If you can do 2 to 3 hours, even better. If you need some help, if you're a college student, look at your college schedule going into 2024. Obviously, this may change when you get more into like the fall and winter semesters. And try to find somewhere in your schedule where there's like a 2 or 3 hour pocket between classes, and do it on that day. Or maybe a schedule where you go into class a little bit later in the afternoon or late morning, wake up an hour earlier, an hour and a half earlier, and get some writing done before then. Or the best way that I say to do it is do it first thing on your first day off. Work schedule, school schedule, your first like day off where you don't have anything, do it on that day, because you still have a little bit of that, I don't want to say energy, but that work brain going on from the day before, and all the days before that you were working or going to school. So that first day off, wake up and just knock it out. Or take that whole day off. The second day off you have, do it on that day when you're more relaxed and more energized. You have to discipline yourself. Don't give me this excuse of like, well, my schedule. So like, you can find a way. If you can find a way to binge watch a show for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or be on TikTok or social media for half an hour, you can find time to write. There's this whole thing is really like no excuses. Okay. And it's the same thing for myself. I'm not giving myself any excuses. Number 5, I think this is what's going to be the key part. And it takes a little bit of discipline, because we have so many ideas in our head, and we have so many stories that we want to work on and write. This one's going to probably be the hardest, is pick one story and focus on that one script. Okay? So instead of writing 4 or 5 different scripts or this little story outline, pick one story that you really, really want to do, that you either excites you the most, that you feel can really grab attention from some people and maybe get your foot in the door or elevate your career or start your career, focus on that one story and only work on that for the whole next year. Don't worry about quantity. Don't be trying to be showy offy. Don't try to show off and be like, I did 5 scripts this year. No, one script. If you're doing a short film, I suggest working on that short film and then continuing to work on that short film as a feature. Okay, so pick a story and stick with that for the whole year. You'd be surprised if every week you work an hour on that story, even if you knock out 2 or 3 pages and you just do the math. Let's say 3 pages every hour, every week, starting the first week of 2024. Okay, that's 3 pages a week times 52 weeks. What do you have? Like 156 page script. So it's very, very doable. Most likely you're going to have days where you knock out way more than 3 pages. Okay, so focus on that one story. Now, the 6th and final one is also kind of hard, and I worded it a very specific way, is find a teammate. So you can do it as a collaborator, co-writer, or just another. But the key thing here is a teammate, somebody that can support you creatively, mentally, that can keep you focused, somebody that you can send your stuff to that's going to give you the feedback that you really need to continue to be motivated the next week or the next day to write, and somebody that can hold you accountable. And this needs to be somebody that you have like a genuine connection and friendship and relationship with, at least in the creative aspect. I have my friend Armando, who's always the person that I can send stuff to. So he's my teammate. So find your teammate, okay? Now, get those 6 things in order. Spend the rest of the month and just kind of make your plan. Start figuring out what your consistent sleep schedule is going to be, how you're going to reduce distractions, what those distractions you're going to reduce. Start coming in with a better eating, drinking habits, possibly working out, and then setting a schedule, picking a story, and then finding that teammate. If you can't find a teammate, utilize like online communities that can help you. But when you do that, don't do something where you just drop a script on like a subreddit and say, hey, read my script. Like, ask very specific questions. Don't show your script. Say, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm trying to accomplish in my script, but I'm having trouble with this. What are some ideas or some tricks that I can use? And also, like, my Instagram account, my Lowriders Instagram account is always open to anybody who wants to reach out and ask any questions. And also for the YouTube, you can leave comments and ask questions. And again, I have to preface this because sometimes people come at me about stuff. Nothing I'm saying is like mandatory, nor is it saying you have to do this. These are just suggestions. If you don't want to do them, you don't have to do them. You don't have to argue with me or fight with me in the comments or send me messages like, oh, well, I don't think I should do this. Like, then don't do it. I don't give a shit. I'm just giving you options based on my experience. Okay. So, with that said, try these out, and I'm gonna implement these 2024 as well. I have one script that I'm gonna work on, and that I'm 100% like geared towards, and hopefully all of us come out alive, well, and can see some sort of progress and productivity at the end of 2024.
Bye.